Ever wondered what a medieval city actually smelled like? We often romanticize the past with images of knights, castles, and grand feasts. But if you could time travel, the first thing you'd notice, even before the sights, would be the smell. And trust me, it wasn't pleasant. So, hold your nose, because we're about to dive into the dark, smelly truth of why medieval cities were an assault on the senses. Let's start with the streets. Forget paved roads and sidewalks. Most medieval streets were just compacted dirt and gravel. When it rained, they turned into a muddy, disgusting mess. But the mud wasn't just soil and water. It was mixed with everything imaginable. People threw their trash directly out of their windows. This wasn't just a few apple cores. We're talking about food scraps, bones, old rags, broken pottery, and anything else they wanted to get rid of. The command "garde l'eau," which means watch out for the water, was a common cry in cities like Paris before someone chucked a bucket of waste into the street below. And that water was often far from clean. This brings us to the biggest problem: human waste. There was no modern sewage system at all. Most people used a chamber pot at night. And in the morning, you guessed it, out the window it went, straight onto the street. Some wealthier homes might have had a privy, which was basically a toilet seat over a chute that emptied into a cesspit in the basement or garden. These cesspits were just pits dug into the ground, and they had to be emptied periodically. The people who did this job, known as gong farmers or night men, had one of the worst jobs in history. They'd shovel the waste into carts, usually at night, to transport it outside the city walls. But spills were common, and the cesspits themselves leaked, contaminating the soil and groundwater. Public latrines existed, but they were often just benches with holes over a river or a large pit, rarely cleaned and overflowing. The famous London Bridge even had houses built on it, complete with latrines that dropped waste directly into the River Thames below. Now let's talk about that river. The Thames, the Seine, the Tiber. These weren't just scenic waterways. They were the city's main dumping ground. Everything ended up in the river, not just human waste, but also industrial waste from various trades. Tanners, for example, were crucial for making leather, but the process was incredibly smelly. They used a mixture of animal brains, dung, and stale urine to soften animal hides. The hides themselves were often rotting, and all this waste, along with leftover flesh and hair, was simply dumped into the nearest river. The water would be thick with filth, discolored and stinking. But here's the truly horrifying part. This same river was often the city's primary source of drinking water. People would collect water downstream from where all this filth was being dumped. It's no wonder diseases like cholera and dysentery were so rampant. Butchers were another major source of stench. Animals were often herded through the streets to slaughterhouses located right in the middle of the city. The noise and smell must have been overwhelming. Blood, guts, and animal parts that couldn't be sold were often just left in the street or thrown into the river. The blood would run in the gutters, congealing and attracting swarms of flies. The leftover bits would rot in the sun, creating a putrid smell that would hang heavy in the air for blocks. Fishmongers contributed too, with rotting fish guts and scales adding to the vile cocktail of smells, especially in the summer heat. And we can't forget the animals themselves. It wasn't just cats and dogs. People kept pigs, chickens, and even cows in their homes or backyards within the city walls. These animals roamed the streets, eating garbage and leaving their own droppings everywhere. The sheer amount of animal manure mixed into the mud and filth of the streets is hard to even comprehend. It was a constant, unavoidable part of the urban landscape. The air itself was thick with smoke. Homes were heated with open fires, usually burning wood or cheap, dirty coal. Without proper chimneys, smoke filled the houses and spilled out into the narrow, winding streets. This created a perpetual smog that stung the eyes and coated everything in a layer of soot. Add in the smoke from blacksmiths' forges, bakers' ovens, and brewers' fires, and the air quality was abysmal. This constant haze would trap all the other foul odors at street level, concentrating them into an inescapable miasma. Personal hygiene didn't help matters much. While medieval people didn't completely avoid bathing, it wasn't a daily habit like it is for many of us today. Public bathhouses existed, but they were often associated with immoral behavior and were expensive. For most, a full-body wash was an infrequent event. People wore the same clothes, often made of wool or linen, for days or even weeks on end. Without effective deodorants or frequent laundering with modern detergents, body odor was just a fact of life. Imagine being packed into a crowded church or marketplace on a hot day. The combined body odor of hundreds of unwashed people would have been overpowering. So, let's paint a final picture. Imagine walking through a medieval city. The ground beneath your feet is a squelching mud of dirt, garbage, animal droppings, and human excrement. The air is a thick, smoky soup that stings your eyes and throat. Every breath is a mix of rotting food, industrial waste from the tanners and butchers, the ammonia stench from the cesspits, and the unwashed bodies of the people around you. Swarms of flies are everywhere. Rats scurry in the shadows. This wasn't just a minor inconvenience. It was the everyday reality for hundreds of thousands of people. The lack of sanitation was a primary reason why disease spread so quickly and why life expectancy was so short. It's a stark reminder of how far we've come in public health and sanitation. The next time you turn on a tap for clean water or flush a toilet, take a moment to appreciate these incredible inventions. They've done more to shape our modern, relatively smell-free world than we often realize. The romantic image of the Middle Ages is a powerful one, but the smelly reality is a crucial and often overlooked part of the story. Thanks so much for joining me on this smelly journey back in time. If you found this fascinating, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into history. Let me know in the comments what historical topic you'd like to see next. See you in the next video.